Guys, guess what?
Something new from Diatone.
Quads from Diatone. We got some two new quads from Diatone that came in this week. This video we're gonna go over them. We're gonna unbox them, go over the flight controllers, KV of the motors because that's very important, the size of the props.
We're gonna introduce two new products to you from Diatone. This is the new Tyrant, GT Tyrant 2018. It's a 530 size. And then this is the M630. So this is based off the M5, but it's a 6-inch quad. Yeah, so this has got some big honking motors on it, and it's got really cool orange wires and everything. But, so it's two new versions from Diatone.
The 6-inch one is only on 4S motors with the 6-inch props.
Yes, if you reduce the props to like a 5-inch, you can go higher voltage.
Right, but officially, these are sold as 4S quads.
Yes.
Now this guy, they come in two different KV motors already installed. One is a 6S version and one is the 4S version.
Yes, the lower KV is the 6L version, the higher KV motors is the 4S version.
Right. So when you buy them from our site, make sure you get the right one. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot run the 6S batteries on a 4S quad because why?
You'll probably burn up the ESC or motors.
Look, holy cow. I just cut myself on the prop. It wasn't even spinning.
Oh. Yeah, we're gonna have to take him to the emergency room now. He's
See, they're dangerous.
Call the ambulance.
All right, that's it. We're done with this video.
Okay, so let's talk about the Tyrant GT. So we have the frame. This is a really, really beautiful carbon frame. I think this is probably higher grade carbon, possibly. I'm not sure, but the finish on it is amazing. Everything is just smooth. There's no sharp edges anywhere on this thing. I love it. It's very plain though. This is kind of like your Alien style frame, to where it's not going to be like the lightest thing in the world, I guess, but it's not the heaviest, but it's very flat. Battery goes on top, GoPro can mount in the front. In addition though, they've also put 20x20 hole patterns in the front and rear on each side of the flight controller. So one thing's really cool about that, if you have a mini split or similar camera, HD camera system with the stack, the 20x20 stack, you can mount that in between the flight controller and the camera and then get you an HD recording without having to throw a GoPro on top. Nice. I think that's probably the biggest feature of this quad right here, in my opinion, is that extra milling on that, so you can put more stuff on it. So what they've done to reduce the profile, they've moved the VTX and filter board and the buzzer to the rear of the quad. So that's sitting on this backboard over here. It has the Unify Pro V3 inside it, running to the SMA style connector right here, and they do come with a little Amway dipole antenna. Connector comes out the back, but it's designed to run up front. The motors are your 2306, 2450 kV, all clockwise rotation or threaded props, prop nuts.
So we don't have
reverse nuts like the other ones, or like old stuff.
Right.
But this is the same motors that you find on the 5-inch one and everything. Very nice motors, very smooth. Another thing they've done is, instead of having the holes in the bottom, they are enclosed, so you don't have to worry about getting the dirt in the lower bearings and the C-clips and all that. So that's one thing Diatone's done on the newer ones.
Yeah, because the other ones have holes, like I think the
the older 5-inch.
Okay, so that hole is the older one. Yeah, look at that.
Now it is counterboard in the frame, so there's room for stuff in there, but it's not open to where you get dirt in there and all that.
Or even like moisture from the
Yeah, because I used to run the Rotorite skids on the bottom of those just to keep the dirt out. Now the camera, this one does have the micro sparrow on it. So we have
RunCam.
Yeah, this is the RunCam micro sparrow. Using a 2.1mm lens as well. So the electronics are pretty close. The biggest thing is the F4 flight controller on this, and it comes with a wire harness for an RXSR. So if you have an RXSR, you don't have to do any soldering. You can literally plug it in, get it going with your basic radio setup. If you want to do smart port, yeah, you'll have to do some soldering to hack the smart port and all that, because it's an F4 flight controller.
So just for the basic flyer, plug and play.
Yeah, if you just want your basic setup and all that, if you're not looking to do Lewis scripts and all that, you can literally plug in a receiver, zip tie it up. I didn't do any soldering. The only thing I did to mount my receiver, I took off the 8 screws on top, mounted the receiver, put the antennas on, used the zip ties provided, and some shrink tube and some double-sided tape to hold the receiver, and I was good to go. That's really nice. They did a really good job. It's soft-mounted flight stack and everything like that. You have a nice sandwiched arms. The arms are going to be easy to replace with a couple screws and all that if you ever have to get to it.
So the arms are individual arms versus
they are individual arms on this one, yes.
Very cool.
So that is the Tyrant GT 530.
So if you crash and broke an arm, you basically would have to, how many screws?
This thing's really damn strong. Pretty much you'd end up pulling, looks like 3 screws.
A couple screws here and then the motor
over there,
and that's
so yeah.
Okay.
So that's that one. Now moving on to the 630 here.
That thing looks huge.
Now one thing I actually did not cover on this one either. I should have said that. the extra capacitors. So it has a 5-volt capacitor and a main battery voltage capacitor, as well as one on the VTX stack. So Diatone is going all out with filtering on this thing. They are putting all kinds of caps on these things to get the cleanest possible video and least voltage electric spikes in there.
They learned from all our videos in the past.
Yeah.
All right. For size comparison, let's see how big that sucker really is.
Well, let's compare this to it.
So we all very familiar with the R90.
Yeah, so literally,
Oh my gosh.
the prop area is bigger than the GTR 90.
So this thing is ginormous.
Yes.
And they fly really good. I mean, from what I understand, I've never flown a 6-inch yet. I've only flown a 5-inch.
Yeah, so compared to a 5-inch, it's really not that much bigger. It's just the props are so big.
From what I heard from customers, the 6 inches just are a little
For
more stable.
freestyle, a lot of people like the 6-inch for freestyle.
And I'm a freestyle. I don't do any kind of racing.
So, okay, so let's look at this one real quick, 630. Now, the camera on this is the RunCam Micro Swift. It's also running a 2.1mm lens, so it's got the wide field of view. The flight stack is on the top is the Unify Pro V3 on the filter board with the buzzer and the capacitor for the filtering. Moving down is the F405 Mamba flight controller, and then below that is the Mamba 40 amp ESC system, 4-in-1 ESC. So that's the same stack on pretty much most of their quads they're going to be having now. You got all the capacitors in the back here. Now, one thing people are going to say is, oh no, the capacitor wires, if you crash, they're going to short. Diatone's gone one step ahead, and they've actually put shrink tube, rubberized shrink tube, clear shrink tube on all the capacitor leads. That way, if they're not going to touch and short. That was one thing we talked about when they first started doing capacitors, is isolating that so they don't short.
That's amazing.
And they've gone and done that. So they've gone the extra detail on that, which is really nice. This receiver is not included with the quad. This is an RXSR, but again, no solder install. If you have an RXSR,
plug and play.
Plugs it in, mount it down, and wire up your antennas. Amway dipole antenna as well. And then the motors, this is where we get different on this thing. This is running...
So up until now, everything's the same as the Tyrant?
Yes.
Okay, and the camera, obviously.
Well, the camera's different, but...
Same core electronic, okay.
Now, the motor is a 2308, not a 2306, 1950 kV. So this is a big honking motor that runs 4-cell with 6-inch props. Now, on the bottom, you'll see on this particular model, they still have the holes. But one thing about the 2308 motors, a lot of people are going to notice, they are using screws to secure the bell housings now. So they're not C-clips like the other SunnySky motors. Okay. So this is actually using the screw to capture the bell housing on.
Yes.
So that makes it easier to service and stuff like that.
And it's probably stronger, obviously, too.
I've never had any issues with the C-clips or anything that coming off, but other people have. It's mainly if you try to take them apart to clean them, it's a little harder.
So good maintenance.
Yeah. So, but you can see the windings in these things are just beautiful. I mean, they've done a really good job. They're very smooth, very quiet motors. So that's pretty much that right there, and you can see the two here, again, side by side. So you have two new excellent products from Diatone running the F4 flight controllers, 40 amp 4-in-1 ESCs, capacitors everywhere to keep the cleanest possible video. They're running a name brand TBS Unify VTX, RunCam name brand camera, name brand SunnySky motors with the Diatone name on it. They include GemFan props of all things, so they got just everything there is just top notch.
If you need more GemFan props, we got them. All right, well, these are freaking awesome quads.
The only real deficiency, I would say, is the antenna. Now, granted, I still have several of these on my quads for flying around. I usually don't go out very far. I'm not flying through the woods or anything like that.
What's that up there?
If you want better antennas, now these are purple, but the Foxier Lollipops would be a great addition to this quad. And obviously we have black, red, and purple. Purple, I think, is actually a limited edition, if I remember right.
Yes.
But that little antenna is going to fit in around the same area. It's not going to make it any bigger. And you'll have a circular polarized antenna. So this would, I think they're about 15 bucks for a pair of these things. That would probably be a worthy purchase in addition to the quad.
All right, well, I'm speechless here. You've answered every one question I had before I even got to it. So,
well, Diatone's doing a good job of reusing electronics that work in multiple models. So the frames are changing, the size of the frames are changing, the arms are changing, the prop size is changing, but the electronics, they're starting to get more of a standard. So it's great because that keeps product availability, part availability up to where you're not going, oh no, I need the part for this random quad that doesn't exist after 3 months kind of thing. So that's a really nice thing. Plus, nothing is super specific. I mean, it's all, it's a 30 by 30 flight stack. It's not any weird sizes or anything like that, like Yashin does with their weird flight controllers.
Or their flight stacks. Or
flight built into the frame and
right.
crap like that. So again, it's just a really nice high quality. I mean, this thing is strong as hell, guys. I mean,
do it again.
I'm impressed by this thing. it's just tight. No. But I really like. I wasn't sure what to think about the Tyrant because I had the classic Tyrant. I love the looks of the original Tyrant, but this thing I was kind of like, oh, it's kind of boring looking when I got it, or when I saw the pictures online. But you know, I knew it was going to be more like an alien style frame, stuff like that, more of that kind of frame for freestyle. But as soon as I opened the box, I kind of fell in love with this one because this thing is clean. I mean, it's so smooth. It's just nice.
So that's your favorite one. I just love the size of this one. This is just.
I think this is probably going to end up being my go-to over the M series. Now the Rabbit one is probably still the one I've been flying the most lately.
Because these just came out.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, this is Stretch X. This is more of a True X style. These are Stretch X.
That's definitely a Stretch X. Yeah. I just love the metal look. I don't know. That's just my personal preference. Will likes that one. That's his personal preference.
Now, just out of curiosity, we didn't do the weight. So let's see what this sucker is all up with props and everything. So we got our scale. Let's tear it there. So what are we looking at? 339.2 grams without a battery flying weight. Let's see what this 6-inch rolls in. I'm kind of curious. Probably 4 something maybe. 395.1. All right, so this is kind of cheating a little bit as this one doesn't have props on it, but just get a rough estimate, 284. Okay, that would probably explain why this one I kind of like a lot because it's super light. Like the heavier flying quads, freestyle, the lighter quads aren't always a good idea for freestyle because you can kind of sling the extra weight around a little more, especially when you have the powerful motors to, you know, to fly it.
I mean, you said before, just to let everyone know again, that's top mount battery?
Yes, this one, I mean, I guess you could mount the battery on the bottom too if you wanted to, but it's really designed to have the battery.
This one's really just a bottom mount right there.
Yeah, and with the battery on top, you're not going to have to worry about the antenna.
All right, so the battery.
So when you have a top mounted battery, you can see pretty much the antenna is not going to get messed up as much. Right. You know, a lot of people are like, oh no, I don't know, it's going to break off here. Well, it's got the TBS mount. It's not threaded, it's mounted. It's pretty sturdy there, but you're not going to really get stress on the mounting part you're going to get on the antenna. That's why it's nice to have somewhat of a flexible antenna. With the battery there, and you still have room for a GoPro. You can shift it back up here if you got the GoPro, and if you don't, then you can keep it more centered. So that's really nice. Again, I think this is just a really nice quad if you're going to be doing freestyle. This would probably be the one to get right now from what I've seen. 6-inch. This is absolutely gorgeous. I love the orange wires. Especially this time of the year, we got Halloween coming up. This is just kind of cool with the black and metal parts, as well as the orange accents. So Diatone really did a nice job on that.
They look and fly awesome. Right. You're probably gonna ask who are these for. They look awesome, they fly awesome, they are awesome, but they are not for beginners.
These are higher end freestyle quads, guys. If you have not flown a 4-cell quad before, don't do it.
Right. If you coming from a DJI, don't go here.
That's where the King Kong ET series is perfect for.
We'll link that below. The video will be thing up there in the top whatever corner. So go to that video. That's the best one for beginners. It's got prop guards, and honestly, if you have these on and you don't do the right thing, and these motors don't spin up, you'll cut your finger, your face.
These things have enough power. They'll put you in the hospital if you don't know what you're doing.
And that's not even a joke. They will do that.
So guys, this right here, this is for the guy that probably has already set up a quad or two on Betaflight, but doesn't really like building per se. Or you have a friend that knows how to set up a quad on Betaflight, because you are going to have to do some configuration on these because they are plug and play. They are not ready to fly. They are not bind and fly. They are plug and play. And when plug and play is for quads, it means you do have to install a receiver, and you do also have to configure to a computer to match it to your radio.
Right.
Even bind and flies, you still have to configure the radio with using Betaflight and all that. So,
long story, don't buy if you're a beginner or if you're a noob. Noobs, no.
That's a dirty word around
I
here.
said the noob word. Yeah, that's you right there, Mr. Newbie.
It's calling you out. No, but guys, this is something for, you've already had a couple quads.
Look at that. Look, holy cow. I just cut myself on the prop. It wasn't even spinning.
Oh. Yeah, we're going to have to take him to the emergency room now.
See, they're dangerous.
Call the ambulance.
All right, that's it. We're done with this video.
All right, guys, so hope you enjoyed that. We'll probably get more into this later on, but for now, there you go. There's a quick look at the new 2018 Tyrant 530 and the M630.
And I need a Band-Aid.
I don't know what to do with him.
Did you see that?
Yeah, you just cut the shit out of it.
See? Where is it? See? I'm not joking. That just happened when I just touched the stupid prop. That wasn't even on. Now imagine that thing was spinning.